Good afternoon. This is Ron Brown. It's Friday afternoon, the 8th of November. And this week I'm going to do something a little bit different. Of course, I'm going to be using all the tools that I have in my files, including VPA, Wyckoff, and so on. But I'm going to introduce you to a group that I put in. I call it Market Insight ETFs. It's just kind of a snapshot view of the market using ETFs, and I've got a select group of ETFs, and I'll go into that and explain it to you. So, going to view the markets from the top down using ETFs. You don't have to delete my files all the time, but it's a good idea to delete the charts and the scans before updating if you're an insider club member. Remember, the market is your teacher. Any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. Now I'm using a 4K monitor and 4K to record this, and I realize some of the symbols are pretty small and so on, but if you start viewing the video and go to the lower right hand corner and select 4K or the highest definition your monitor will show, everything should be sharp enough for you to view. I'm using a 32-inch monitor to record this information, and my layout is weekly chart, daily chart with the contextual view, in other words, the relative price or the price relative to my moving averages, and then I'm using just a plain chart today, a white chart with the intraday information included right here. So what I've done is, and you have to be an Insider Club member to follow me and get these files. I've created a folder here. I'm calling it Market Insight ETFs. And if you look here, you can see there's bonds, commodities, a couple of commodity funds, dollar, industrials, gold, mid-cap, QQQ, Russell, and all of the SPDR ETFs, because these give a great idea of what the market's doing today. Then silver, small cap, ETF Vanguard Fund. So there's a real cross section in here, and you're going to find this under the market analysis user groups, Market Insight ETFs. Then I've got a couple folders here. My major indexes updated weekly, and I'm weighting these two different ways, equal dollar weighted and market cap weighted. So these are equal dollar and these are market cap. And I'm not going to get into that today. I'm just experimenting with that because this last week, it's been a wild week. It's been mostly a large capitalization stock rally is what I'm trying to say. And you can see it by different weighting, and I'll get into that maybe next week. But this is what I'm going to be using right now, and I'm going to click through to my warehouse view. And where I am here in the warehouse views, I'm in my essential files, and I'm in top-down process views for ETF analysis, and I'll be using these two views right here. So this is the way these looked at the end of yesterday. And if you look over here on the right, I have a window created for the ranking module. So I can quickly go back and forth between the warehouse views and the ranking module. And this shows me I've got this set on percent change 1 week. So I get a weekly view of this with the ranking module, and then I'm looking at the daily views over here in the scorecard ETF end of day warehouse views. Okay, get this out of the way. So I'm going to start up here. I don't need the quick pick up. And like I said, I'm using the end of day scorecard view. So this is the way these ETFs looked last night. And you can see silver was up, the tech sector was up, gold was up, the Qs were up. This is the amount they were up as of last night. And if I want to see the progress for the week in the ranking module, I just click up here on the ranking module and it goes over here to silver automatically. And you can see that for the week it is down 3.4%, even though it was up 2.4% as of the close last night. Now, I'm going to turn off my combo ranking. That turns the combo on and off. And the reason I do this is when I go into the intraday, I want to see how these groups, or I'm sorry, the ETFs that were up last night look today intraday. So I'm just going to drop down to intraday and notice that silver is still on top, followed by the tech sector. But on the intraday, I can see that they're backing off a little bit now. And I'm going to do an F5 to update these. I've got this on manual updating. And then I will re-engage the combo ranking. So by doing this, I can see what the market is doing anytime intraday. And as of now, with about 15 minutes left in the market day, I can see the utilities are up 2.03%, and the intraday range is holding at 93.96. And I'm going to click through over the ranking module, and you can see for the week the utilities are up 1.45%. So pretty decent move, but the 1.45% for the week, much of that, well, this is up 2.03 just for today. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to bring utilities up in these three charts. So let's just go over here to the right-hand side. Take a look at this. You can see that this is the 2.03% move. I'm going to bring an arrow up here, and if you look down here, this 2.03 move equals this column right here, and this is today. Now on the weekly chart, if I look over here, you can see that it's up 1.45%, and on the weekly chart, you look down here, and you can see that that 1.45 on the ranking module equals the 1.45 down here, which is represented by this weekly bar. And if you're doing this intraday, whenever there's an update in the pricing, that will be reflected both in the warehouse and in the ranking module, and those numbers will correspond to the weekly chart and the daily chart. So once again, here's the weekly price, or movement I should say, 1.45%, and here is the intraday price for utilities. Now let's say that you're seeing utilities moving today, and you could just buy the ETF or trade options on it, whatever you prefer. Or another thing I've set up here is if you click on your down, I have to get rid of this, I'm sorry, get rid of that, reclaim my keyboard. I'm going from Markets Insight ETFs, which are under the Market Analysis user groups. I'm going to go down to folder number 7. This is the SPDR Sector ETFs and Component Stocks. So if I just click on that, it brings up these sectors the spider sectors, and you can see the utilities are on top, but I can just, if I want to see the stocks that make up the utilities, I'm just going to go down here and I can see which stocks are moving the most within this sector. Sorry about that. So let me go back. Let me run that by you again. So scorecard end of day, and where I'm beginning is up here in the market insight. So this tells me that all of these sectors are up today. Most of them are holding pretty strong going into the close, and I can just do my analysis here, noticing that the silver has fallen off today, as have the commodities. Natural gas is off, and so on, and materials are off. And where is the strength? Like I said, it's in utilities. Now, I'm going to bring the designer up and show this to you. I'm right here at the moment, but if I go down to the sector ETF and component stocks, these are the sectors, the spider sectors, and now I want to look at the utilities. And so I'm just going to go in there, and by going into the utilities, I can see which of the stocks within the utilities index or ETF are performing best. And then I have all this other information over here as far as my Wyckoff views from last night. You can see this one had very high volume yesterday. The spread was wide and it closed in the mid-range. It was negative on the 3-6 crossover, but the volume point of control was positive. So the stock up, and you can see that, move in on this, that it was negative on the 3-6 crossover yesterday. Hard to see, but it was. And there was just a little red dot on the histogram right there. But today, it's up. It's been basing along the 50-day exponential moving averages, and we had 1, 2, 3 bullish candles and then a spinning top. And then today it's on the move. Notice the volume yesterday was very high with this spinning top. It was unsure of which direction it was going to go. Let's take a look here and see. Well, the earnings are out on it. So anyway, it's a leading stock within the utilities. And I say it's leading because here's the 200, the 100, the 50. The 18 is this brown line here. So these are all stacked properly. And you can see it's clearly in an uptrend. Had a little pullback here, but buyers were coming in on these 3 days. Now I'm doing this late in the day, so this is some analysis that really should be done earlier in the day if you want to get on top of these. Now let's see where I'm still highlighting this symbol, and I'm going to click on the ranking module, and it takes me over here to the ranking module from the warehouse to the ranking, and it says it's up 5.41% for the week. So let's bring that arrow up, and if you look down here for the week, it's up 5.41%. And today, most of that move is today, 4.60. You can see that right down there. And look at the move. Big move on this stock today. I've seen bigger moves on a lot of stocks today, but this is a pretty good move. So let's take a look here. This one that I just looked at is at 100% of its range. Let's look at Nextera. Yesterday, It was high. Spread was below average and closed at the mid, and the 3-6 crossover was negative, as was the volume point of control. So let's look at that today. Today it's up $3.30. So going to bring that arrow back up. You can see the volume point of control was negative. The 3-6 crossover was definitely negative because this histogram is below the zero line, but buyers are coming into it today. Let's analyze this from a VPA perspective. This is stopping volume. Big volume bar here. It's positive or blue because the close is greater than the open. Strength seen returning, and then a confirmation of that strength seen returning today. So get this out of the way, the quick pick. You can see that on a weekly chart, this has been a strong stock for the most part until it got up in here in this area. You can see it's been underperforming the S&P on the week. Now, it's sold off, but buyers are coming back into it. This is why we have this long-legged doji here, which is represented over here. Let's see. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these 5 bars are equivalent to this one weekly bar. Now, let's take a look here at okay, I want to go from here to the ranking module. Says for the week, it's down 0.3426. If I bring that arrow up here and point that out, change minus 3.34. And that's why it's a black, but well, it is a black body, but it's lower or below the following week or the preceding week. Now, there's the closing bell right here. And what do we have here? 3.30% for today, which is equivalent to what you see here in my warehouse module. So going back up here to my Market Insight ETFs, and when you download the add-on, if you're an Insider Club member, you're going to have these folders and so on that I'm showing you right now. So utilities are good. Real estate was good today as far as percentage price screen. The bonds, the TLT, were up today. They had been falling, but they've rallied the last 3 days off the lows. So that's an indication that if they're anticipating rates falling or reflecting rates falling. So you get just a really good cross-section or good view of the market just by using these ETFs alone. Silver, which was really positive yesterday, was down 0.98% today. And you can see that the 3 crossed the 6 days ago. So it rallied for a couple of days here, but the crossover was here. You can see that reflected in the histogram down here. VPOC and the 10-day force were negative. So this was a little counter trend bump up here for a couple of days, but the trend is still down. At least the micro trend, if you look right here, it says micro trend or the short-term trend. They're both down. Now if I click on the ranking module from here, you can see silver is down 3.40% for the week, and that's once again reflected down here in this weekly chart. On the daily chart, we're down 1.98%, and that's reflected down here at the bottom of the chart. What I like most about this concept of my market inside ETFs, I'm looking at all the sectors, and then I've added these other ETFs to give us a broader look at the market so we can really get a feel for rotation and where the money's flowing. And then with any of these spider sectors, starting with an X, you can, if you see what's moving, like I pointed out earlier, you can jump down into the individual stocks. Now look at the consumer discretionary. It's up 7.46% for the week, up 1.38% today. But I want to go in there and see what's moving. So all I have to do is go down here, and it's folder number 7. It's consumer discretionary, so I have to locate consumer discretionary right here at the bottom, XLY. And then I'm sorted on raw combo, which is the percentage price change intraday, and I can see what's moving. And Tesla had a big day. They've had several big days since the election, and that is reflected here. Let's do an update here, closing prices on it. Tesla sold off a little bit towards the end of the day. Well, no, that is closing price. No, yeah, there it is. So if we bring up Tesla, you can see how exuberant it was after the election, because Musk is essentially part of this incoming administration from the sound of things. So I imagine there will be plenty of money flowing his way, which he doesn't need. Anyway, it's reflected in Tesla. So what do we have for Tesla? I'm going to click on the ranking. Look at this, up 27.914. Shows that right down here at the bottom of the weekly chart. And for the day, it's up 7.26 down here at the bottom of this chart. And let's look at the Wyckoff yesterday. Above average, and very high. And if I just drop down to the Wyckoff VFB charts here, it's going to color code these for me. So these are all heavy demand days right here with the solid green bar. Higher volume, wider spread. So a lot of money flowing in there, a little profit taking at the end of the day. Okay, so I think give you a pretty good idea of what I'm doing here. Just play with it and see what you think. And if you have any feedback, let me know. It's just great to be able. I just got to scroll up here to the top. Where did I got a little lost here. Market Insight ETFs. Just starting from the top and then having the ability to go down into the individual sectors to see what's moving. Now let's go back here to this. Now I've moved away from these individual stocks in the warehouse module, but they're still in the ranking module. So if I want to transfer those back to the ranking module, I just click on that and they're right back over here. Let's take a look at Expedia Group. I'll just go down one, take a look at this. You can work through these yourself, but this is up 3.79% today. For the week, up 13.38%. Charts up. And you can see a little over exuberance today. This is a shooting star, I would say. Plus, there's a couple of negative VPA flags on here. And the description is over here. An upthrust bar after an up move, a sure sign of weakness. This up thrust at very high volume confirms weakness. A down bar after an up thrust. All of these VPA flags are generated. Confirms weakness. Reached new recent higher and higher volume, but failed to hold. So, if this was a squeeze, or there were a lot of traders trading this at the open, I don't know if when earnings came out on this. I'm going to go to bar chart. Let's find out. Okay, they came out yesterday, probably after the market, $6.13. So there was a squeeze going on, and other traders jumped in, and it may be a climax run on this. We'll have to wait and see. So that's Expedia. Boy, those earnings were good. Okay, so I think I'm going to wind this down now. But I just wanted to show you what I'm working on for myself, and hopefully the Insider Club members are working with some of these ideas. Now, I realize you probably don't all have 32-inch monitors, or maybe you do. If you do, just lay your screen out. Now, this is a Samsung monitor, and see this right here? This is a utility that lets me put these windows, drop them into here, and it'll size automatically for me. So if I drop that in there, then I just move this over, and then the ranking module's in the third window. So go to your monitor's manufacturer's website and see if they have a utility for your monitor, and that way you can divide your windows up. It's very, very, very handy, and lay out your screen. Okay, have a good week. Let's see. Veterans Day is Monday, and stocks will trade, but the banks are closed, so it'll probably be pretty thin trading on Monday. Thanks for listening. Have a good weekend.